In an attempt to prevent the incessant flooding which occurs at the Trademore Estate, Lugbe, during the seasonal rains, the Federal Capital Territory Administration has demolished over 17 houses that it described as illegal in the estate. Officials of FCTA, accompanied by a joint task force composed of the police and state security service personnel, entered the estate with a bulldozer on Thursday afternoon when most people were at work. Flooding at the estate has become a perennial issue due to the building of houses on waterways, non-compliance with safety instructions, and early warnings. Uchechukwu Moses, the chairman of Phase 2 Trademore Estate Lugbe, speaking with Rootstv Nigeria, said residents of the estate were only given 48 hours notice before the demolition.
Those houses that were marked, they were given 48 hours. Well, to the best of my knowledge, there hasn't been any prior notice, but I'm aware that some houses were marked for demolition.
The estate chairman noted that the affected residents are in pain as their lives, just like their homes, have crumbled.
For us anyway, for now, I don't really know because the harm have been done. That's the demolition. As you can see, the main control, they are around carrying out demolition as promised. Well, our residents are actually in pain, if I may use that word, because we never expected it. Anyway, we thought that with the media information that was been given, that the government would have listened to us first before carrying out the demolition. You know, we suggested other options, that demolition has to be the last option, but it appears it's now the first.
Mr. Moses said they had earlier appealed with the government to first look into the situation and determine the cause of the flooding before carrying out the demolition. Initially
was that the government should look at the problem. What is the cause of this problem? And as we've identified, and as I've also said on other media sessions, that the main challenge that we have in Trademore is not in Trademore, it's the water coming into Trademore. Why not find a way of rechanneling the water so that the volume of water coming to Trademore will now be less? That's one option. Then we also learned that at our later too, that there is a dam that has no buffer, and you know the effect of a dam. Then thirdly, that's the major one. After Trademore, the water outlets have been blocked. So no matter what you do, the demolition is not the solution, because now that the houses have been demolished, the question is that what next? The water outlet is still narrowed. It needs to be opened up to the express. And as we speak, if there is rain, you will see that the bridge in front of Trademore, there is this small ring that ecological fund used, you know, for water to take water outside Trademore. It is small. It needs to be expanded. That's the major challenge.
He appealed to the government to find a lasting solution to the flooding.
We're still appealing to the government that please, they should find a lasting solution to this problem. Let these channels be opened, because as I've always asked, will this stop the flooding? No, it won't. But if these water channels are opened, it will save life, save property, and the flooding will stop.
This is Ikaru Atta. He's the Senior Special Assistant on Monitoring, Inspection and Enforcement to the FCT Minister. He's leading this operation under the auspices of the FCT Ministerial Task Force team. According to him, house owners were notified appropriately.
Notices, this house, this you see here, we are marked 3 years ago. 3 years ago. They were even marked from their foundation level. Some over 10 years ago, marked 3 years ago. And when we get to the final stage, we get them 48 hours notice. So we've given them sufficient notice. Even from their foundation, they were marked because there was no building plan approval for these houses here, that we are built on a floodplain.
Mr. Atta noted that the reason for the demolition was the incessant flood. He described the estate as a death zone.
Flood is the purpose. 3 persons died here, I think in September 2019, if I'm right, if I get the date correctly. We had a senior security officer that died here later. This is like a dead zone. People die here in flooding very, very badly. How you see that against all odds, they are packing their things. They know they hardly, if you look at the walls, you could see water, you could see wetness in all the walls. This is a very horrible Trademore flood zone. This is the point.
This exercise would have led to the demolition of even more houses, but work had to stop when the bulldozer got faulty. They will return to demolish the remaining marked buildings.
We are demolishing the ones on the floodplain, so we have worked very hard for today. So we'll continue. We have not finished our work. The ones you see are the ones we can demolish today. One of our machines, I think 2 of them failed us. Only the excavator work. So when we come next, we'll bring more machines.
As this action was taken, attention soon shifted to the possibility of compensation for those affected. But there is no word of comfort or assurance in this regard.
We did not give you building plan approval. So we cannot take public money to compensate you when you break the law. Allow us to spend money, spend man-hour to come and remove it. Because normally this is a floodplain. It's meant to be left for water and not for structures.
Our camera caught some residents whose houses were marked for demolition, moving out their belongings. They also tried to salvage other parts of the buildings, like aluminium windows, roofs, and gates. Last September, 3 bodies were recovered after the estate was hit by flash floods. Several houses and valuables were also destroyed during the incident.